Hey, how's it going? This is Jerry Heron here to make another YouTube video. It is now time for another video, and this is another real-line video. You can see by the cover there, I'm reading you all a Sesame Street book, and it's called Oh, I Am So Embarrassed by Anna H. Dixon, illustrated by Tom Cook, and it features Jim Henson's Sesame Street Muppets. And it's a Sesame Street Growing Up book. Yes, I remember I had this particular book when I was a little kid. I remember reading it a lot when I was little. And I thought I'd relive my childhood and read to all of you. And like I said, I loved Sesame Street growing up when I was little, when I was a little kid. But like I said, as I outgrew it, the last time I saw an episode of Sesame Street when I was like either 6 or 7 years old, around that time. But Sesame Street is a true classic show that's still going on to this present day, I'm sure. I think everyone grew up with Sesame Street. Even my parents grew up with Sesame Street. I know all you loved Sesame Street growing up. So let's not waste any time. Let's get going with the story. Oh, I Am So Embarrassed by Anna H. Dixon. Illustrated by Tom Cook. Featuring Jim Henson's Sesame Street Muppets. A Sesame Street Growing Up book. A golden book. Let's begin. Hold on, I just had to borrow the book. Sorry, I forgot to click the borrow button. Okay, let's just borrow. Alright, now we can begin. Alright. It was digitalized in the Internet Archive in 2014. Here is the end sheet. And here is the inside tile. Let's begin. One day, Grover came home for lunch with Harry Monster. I'm glad you could come, Grover dear. I hope you like tomato soup and blueberry muffins, said Harry's mother. Oh, yes, thank you, Mrs. Monster, he said. Harry, she said, you and Grover may go wash your paws, please. The monsters ate lunch around the kitchen table. Grover, wouldn't you be more careful if you took off your baseball cap? Asked Harry's mommy. Oh, no, thank you, he said. Just then, Grover knocked down his glass of milk with his elbow. Milk spilled across the table, getting everyone's napkin wet. Oh, said Grover, I am so embarrassed. Don't worry about it, Grover, said Mrs. Monster. It will wash right out. She mopped with the milk and poured him another glass. Grover was so ashamed that he couldn't eat another muffin. The next day, Grover met his friends to play ball. Hey, Grover, cool baseball cap, said Ernie. May I see it? No, I am sorry, Ernie. Grover looked down and counted his toes. Why not? Asked Ernie. I'll be careful. I just want to try it on. I cannot take it off, cried Grover. Grover ran down Sesame Street and waited. Whoop! Harry kicked the ball so hard it went flying. Then it bounced and rolled back the sidewalk toward Grover. I will get it. Let me get it. I have it, yelled Grover, and he ran to the ball. He reached up, but the ball rolled right through his furry fingers and right between his fuzzy feet, and down the sidewalk. Clang! The ball crashed into Oscar's can. What a couch bumble fingers, said Oscar. Remind me not to choose you for my team. Oh, I am so embarrassed, said Grover. Just then, a pesky little breeze sneaked up Sesame Street and swept Grover's new baseball cap off his head. Oops, said Grover. He put his hands over his face. Everybody looked at him. Then everybody laughed. Grover, you have a new fur cut, cried Betty Lou. And it's really short, said Ernie. Yeah, said Oscar. Now, instead of a fur brain, you're a fuzzhead. Grover was so embarrassed. Don't feel bad, Grover, said Harry. It will grow back. Your fur will be shaggy again before you know it. Harry handed Grover his hat. Besides, I know something more embarrassing than going around in short fur, said Harry. What? Said Grover, pulling his hat firmly down over his eyes. Wearing water rings. Water rings are for babies, said Grover. But I can't swim yet, whispered Harry. And that's not the worst part. My little sister doesn't have to wear water wings. She can already swim. How embarrassing, said Bert. Listen, said Betty Lou. One day my mother walked into playgroup and put my rain boots and slicker into my cubby right in front of everybody. Oh no, cried Grover. He began to feel a little better. And then after playgroup, I was the only one who had to walk home in rain boots and a slicker. Betty Lou told them, mothers can be so embarrassing, said Telly. My daddy made me wear a sweater over my Halloween costume, said Elmo. How could he? Asked Grover. I bet he said it was cold outside. Right, said Elmo. It was awful. I was a scary ghost, but when I put on my sweater to go trick-or-treating, nobody thought I was a real ghost. Everybody knew it was me. Oh, that is terrible, said Grover. Guess what? My mommy put in my lunchbox instead of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich one time, said Farley. What? They all want to know. You are not going to believe this, said Farley. A salad. They couldn't believe it. Ew, said Betty Lou. No cookies, asked Cookie Monster. Weren't you embarrassed, asked Telly. I was embarrassed once, said Telly. My cousin came to spend the night and he found out my secret. I was so embarrassed. What secret, Telly? Asked Elmo. That I like to sleep with the nightlight on, he said. Everybody laughed. Everybody else liked nightlights too. Well, said Elmo, I still have to take naps. It's embarrassing, said No, said Oscar. That's disgusting. Mommy says I get cranky before dinner if I don't have a little quiet time, said Elmo. That's okay, Elmo, said Big Bird. Even grown-ups take naps sometimes. I did the most embarrassing thing of all, said Bert. Tell us, Bert, said Ernie. We won't laugh. Well, one day I went to the store wearing one saddle shoe and one sneaker. Oh, I was so embarrassed. Hee, laughed Ernie. Oops, sorry, Bert. I was showing off my roller skates at Millie's birthday party, said Big Bird, and I fell flat on my feathers in front of everyone. I got so sick to my stomach on the bus once that I had to ask the bus driver to stop, said Ernie. Everybody on the bus looked at me. I grabbed my mommy's hand in Nichols' department store once, only it wasn't my mommy, said Elmo. It was some lady I've never seen before. Boy, I was so embarrassed. Boy, was I embarrassed. Yeah, you think those things are embarrassing? Asked Oscar. I did something much worse than any of those little things. No, they cried. What'd you do, Oscar? I don't know what came over me, grumped Oscar. I must have lost my senses. What'd you do? Asked Big Bird. Well, Maria gave me this terrific present for my birthday. It was a crummy old bent fork. Yes, they asked eagerly. Well, I had to say thanks, of course, but then I kissed her. No, Oscar. Ernie said, You kissed Maria? It's true, I was so embarrassed. That's all right, Oscar, said Bert. Everybody gets embarrassed sometimes. Yeah, but you know what, said Oscar. Maria wasn't embarrassed at all. And there's the end sheet again. And that's the end of I'm So Embarrassed, which is a Sesame Street book. And there's the back of Grover and Mary, in which I loved this book growing up when I was little. And like I said, I loved Sesame Street when I was little, but the last time I saw it when I was 6 or 7 years old. But still, this is a classic book from my childhood, and Sesame Street is a classic show. I think everyone grew up with Sesame Street. I hope all you enjoyed the story of I'm So Embarrassed. Oh, I'm so embarrassed from Sesame Street. See you in my next video, folks. This is Jerry Heron signing off.